Janasya Krishna Dvimukasya Daivat Adharmashilasya Sudukkitasya Anugrahayeha Charanti Nunam Bhutani Bhavyani Janardhanasya. O my Lord, great philanthropic souls travel on earth on behalf of the Supreme Personality of Godhead to show compassion to the fallen souls who are averse to the sense of subordination to the Lord. So today's verse is, तब कृपा होले मोरा कथा शुद्ध हवे तब कृपा होले मोरा कथा शुद्ध हवे शुनिया जा शुनिया सबरा शोका दुख जे गुचिबे शुनिया सबरा शोका दुख जे गुचिबे. Only by your causeless mercy will my words become pure. Taba kripa hole kata mora kata shuddha hobe. By your taba kripa, that is by your mercy, hole mora becomes mine. Katha shuddha hobe. The words will become purified. Shuniya, those who hear this, sabara shokha dukkha. Like the people who hear this, the shokha, that is like the lamentation and the dukkha, the fear, that will be gone. They'll become liberated from all unhappy conditions of life. So this shokha, dukkha, that is called as the unhappy conditions. And that's what Srila Prabhupada is mentioning. That when they give their oral reception to my words, and it is not that my words are pure. No, Prabhupada said, I may not be pure, but my words are pure because I'm just trying to present what Krishna speaks in Bhagavad Gita. Many times Prabhupada would become very heavy when people would try to write commentary on Bhagavad Gita and put their own understanding or their own um, what they want to say, analogies and all. Then Prabhupada said, if you want to write any book, why don't you write in your own name? Why you take Krishna's words and give your interpretation? So that is not the thing. And as in the introduction of the Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada writes, although there are so many commentaries on Bhagavad Gita, why I'm writing one more? Because most of them have not written what Krishna has spoken. They've written their own understanding or according to their interpretation. But I want to give what Krishna has spoken. That's why it is Bhagavad Gita as it is. And as Prabhupada is writing his, like, what Krishna wants to write, and he writes, it is only I'm doing it because of the order of my spiritual master. And that was the glory of Srila Prabhupada's purpose. And because he kept it intact, the pure message was there. And that transformed the heart of the people. And I'll just read the purport of this. To be obedient to the wishes of the Supreme Lord is the natural position of every living entity. But due only to past misdeeds, a living entity becomes averse to the sense of subordination to the Lord and suffers all the miseries of material existence. No one has anything to do but render devotional service to the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. Therefore, any activity other than transcendental loving service of the Lord is more or less a rebellious action against the Supreme Will. All fruitive activity, empirical philosophy, and mysticism are more or less against the sense of subordination to the Lord. And any living entity engaged in such rebellious activity is more or less condemned by the laws of material nature, which work under the subordination of the Lord. Maya Dekshena Prakriti. Great unalloyed devotees of the Lord are compassionate towards the fallen souls, and therefore they travel all over the world with the mission of bringing them back to God and back to home. Such pure devotees of the Lord carry the message of Godhead in order to deliver the fallen souls And therefore, the common man who is bewildered by the influence of external energy of the Lord should avail himself of their association. So, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So, here Srila Prabhupada is telling great unalloyed devotees of the Lord are compassionate toward the fallen souls. So, that's what is the compassionate nature of Srila Prabhupada, that although he could have stayed in Vrindavan, where it is filled with the devotional atmosphere, but seeing the um, fallen nature of the people, Prabhupada was compassionate. And for that purpose, therefore, they travel all over the world. So he traveled all over the world with the mission of bringing them back to Godhead, to bring them to Vrindavan, which is the eternal home of everyone. And such pure devotees of the Lord carry the message of Godhead. They are not carrying their own thing, or they are not going to um, present what they want to speak. As these days, there are many popular motivational speakers who may motivate the people, but there may not be change of heart or something. Recently, one of the famous motivational speaker, or like now with the big beard and all, like you all know him. So he had come to IIM, and one of our devotee, he is there in the IIM as a professor. So he said, he told me that I wanted to attend the program, like, want to see what is there, like what he speaks. And he said the whole house was filled, like the auditorium was jam packed with all the brilliant IIM students. And he spoke. He said that, like, our devotee was telling that he didn't speak anything from any scripture or anything. He was just trying to, like, speak in such a way to uh, connect with their mindset and the what they want to hear. And he was trying to speak that, and he was giving some, yes, moral messages, but nothing so deep spiritual. For that, the IIM was ready, paid almost around 40 lakhs, and so many people were there. And what after the program, yeah, they heard something and then they went back. But there may not be any much change of heart or something, or very few may be having, okay, they may come to the moral level. Yes, that is good, but then they're not the ultimate or the topmost. So here, Srila Prabhupada is mentioning that they travel carrying the message of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in order to deliver them. Like, no, because yaya sammohito jiva, like, no, the jiva becomes sammohita atmanam trigunatmikam. Because of the three gunas, he becomes sammohita, he becomes bewildered. And to such people, what they do? Janasya, the common people, Krishna Vimukasya Devat. Like, they have become Vimukha, they have turned their faces against or away from the Supreme Lord. Because of that, Adharmashilasya, like they are following the Adharma, and Sudukkitasya, they are very, very much in dukkha or in the pain. So that is the, like, no, to show the mercy, anugraha, like, no, to such people, like, no, such, like, no, devotees, charanti nunam, they, charanti means they keep moving everywhere to show their causeless mercy of the Supreme Lord. Bhutani bhavyani janardanasya. So we'll try to discuss this after the prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chaksharonmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupah Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadam Vikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijanasahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratvishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhobhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Neelachala Nivasaya Nityaya Paramatmane Balabhadra Subhadrabhyam Jagannathaya Te Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna. Thank you, Sankasham Prabhu, for giving me an opportunity to at least try to recollect or something or read something about Prabhupada. As such, today I will be as this the whole series of these verses are more or less the um, tells about the compassionate nature of Prabhupada as well as the transformation of the heart, which has come in the previous verses also. So I thought more than philosophy today, I'll try to read directly from few of the Prabhupada's anecdotes from the what the devotees have written about Prabhupada. So here we see that like Srila Prabhupada is mentioning that um, my words will become pure by your causeless mercy. So that how is that the one's word can become pure, or how to get like no Krishna's causeless mercy? Like no, only when it's like a mercy means that like no daya. Just like a beggar, how can he get the mercy of a wealthy person if he is sincere in his begging and he is not proud of what he has? When you understand that I don't have anything, without you giving me, I'll not be in a position to sustain me. When that mindset is there in the beggar, then he will be sincerely pleading and begging. If a beggar feels that I have, then he may not feel like begging. As I might have shared this once in a train where I was traveling, one of the beggar came and he was a blind. One person gave him coin and he tossed it. And he said that, "अरे देना है तो बराबर पैसा दो ना, ये चलता नहीं." So he was proud, and the people became so disgusted that they sent him away without giving anything. So, like that, if the beggar is proud of the things or way of begging it proudly, then he cannot get. The same way, one can get the causes mercy of Krishna when one is sincere, transparent, and like no begging. We see in the life of Srila Prabhupada also that how Srila Prabhupada, before going to the West, one day he went to the Shantipur just one day before or just few days before. And morning till evening, Prabhupada was just standing there in like no at the place of Advaitacharya, Shantipur, and he was like no praying. And then the pujari for a long time he didn't see. Otherwise, previously Prabhupada would like often he would go there. And after many years, one day this pujari was doing his regular services, and he happened to see one of the some Western bodied like no person coming in a dhoti kurta with Vaishnava tilak. He became surprised, and he saw that he asked, uh, "Who are you? Like no, how did you come?" And all. And he said, told this. Like no, I'm disciple of such and Prabhupada, and he didn't knew his name and all, but he showed the one of the magazine or book where Prabhupada's photo was there. Then he said, "Hey, I know him because he would regularly come here and he would be praying." And he said then then the devotee said that Prabhupada came to West and then he preached, and now the ISKCON is there. Then he said, your spiritual master, before coming to the West, one day, I think he came, he was there for a whole day almost practically, and he was intensely praying something. After that, I didn't see him. Now I understand that he was intensely praying to Advaita Acharya, that just like because of the calling of Advaita Acharya, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, the same way he was intensely begging for the mercy of Advaita Acharya that you have invited the Lord, so please, like, no, you make the people be able to hear my words, or like maybe able to let me be able to preach. So that way, Prabhupada was, although he was like a fierce and like no breaking the people by giving the slaps through the words, but Prabhupada was so humble and so internally feeling that I need the mercy on my own, I cannot transform. That's what in the previous verse also say, Prabhupada said that, like, no, my dear Lord, I don't know what I have, or I cannot do anything. It is only you who can transform their hearts. So because Srila Prabhupada was so sincere and he was transparent, because of that he could get the causeless mercy of the Lord. Just like here you are able to see a photo. How is that? Like, no, many of us may have either a Kaveri connection or a borewell connection. How is that the water either from the municipality or the borewell can reach our tap in a pure state only when there is no hole in the pipe? Just like in this photo, you are able to see that there is a hole in the pipe, because of which the water is coming out. And just imagine now the pump is on, the water is coming out. That means there is some leakage. And after some time, when the pump is turned off, the water might have accumulated there in that small ditch, and the whole this water, like which may be contaminated by whatever is there, muddy water and all, that will go inside that. And next time when you switch on the motor, the muddy water will come in the pipe. The same way, when there is like complete transparency, that means one becomes just a via medium, then the words of the what the Krishna has spoken and what we may be hearing right now from that via medium devotee, it will be completely pure, and it will have the like no uh, effect of just like uh, taking the pure water keeps the health intact, and if one takes the some contaminated water, it may uh, contaminate, or one may get some diseases, or health may go up and down. The same way, when there are holes in the person who is trans, like no, who is not a transparent via media, then what will happen? The words of the Supreme Lord, even though he may be speaking, but it may not carry that weightage, because there may be some deletion or some addition, because that is like this addition, uh, leakage of the water or water seepage into the pipe, and that will have the final effect as not much transformation of the heart, or there may be some ulterior motives which may come in the heart also. So that is the glory of Srila Prabhupada, that he kept his words pure. That's why Prabhupada said, these are not my words, these are the words of Krishna. Hence, Srila Prabhupada would many times read his own books, his own purports, because he felt these are the words of the Supreme Lord. So, having said that, I'll try to read a few of the anecdotes of Srila Prabhupada. And this may not be interconnected, it will be bit and pieces. And these are two from, one is from the What is the Difficulty by Shrutikirti Prabhu, and another is from My Glorious Master by His Grace Gurijan Prabhu. From this, I'll just in between share a few of the anecdotes. I'll just be reading from this. So this is in October 7, 1972 in ISKCON Berkeley. Srila Prabhupada said that our real preaching was distributing books. What can you say to a person in 3 minutes? He asked. But if he reads one page of a book, it may turn him around. However, you may have to do it. That is okay. But if you get the person angry and he doesn't take a book, then that is your foolishness. My Guru Maharaj daily printed a small paper, Srila Prabhupada said. The paper cost a few cents, and whenever a brahmachari came back from the streets and said he had sold one, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati became very happy and said, "Oh, that is very nice what you have done. You are a very good boy. Purity is the force. Srila Prabhupada is a pure devotee, and we are his humble servants. It's our good fortune to be able to distribute his books, his words in book form." He said, "There are they are not my words, they are Krishna's words. Just by reading even one sentence, it is possible to become Krishna conscious." Srila Prabhupada lives forever in his books. So we see that there may be many people about whom there may be many biographies written, and if you see Srila Prabhupada's life also, so many people or so many devotees have written so many um, biographies about Srila Prabhupada or their remembrance. Once one devotee had made a list of all the books about glorification of Srila Prabhupada, and I had got it, the list. There are almost, I could see that there are around 85 or 88 books about glorifying Srila Prabhupada based on their interaction or their way of understanding Srila Prabhupada or mentioning those incidences where they happen to be there. So that is the glory of Srila Prabhupada. And here also we read that how Shrutikirti Prabhu is telling that Prabhupada has telling that, like, what is the need of just speaking 3 words but distribute my books. One evening, while in his garden, Srila Prabhupada looked at the sky and said, "So, is the sky the color of Krishna?" In Krishna book, it says that Krishna is dark bluish like a thunder cold. A disciple answered, "The sky is the color of Krishna." Srila Prabhupada explained, "It is the skylight from Krishna's bodily effulgence that makes the sky blue." Srila Prabhupada gave us the simplest ways to always remember Krishna. One must look at the sky every day. But by his mercy, we can look at the sky and immediately remember Krishna. So the whole 10th chapter is Krishna. What he is trying to do is that only, that everything in and everywhere, how can we see him or remember him? So the same thing Srila Prabhupada is also, through this anecdote, is telling us that whenever we see, we may be seeing the same thing, but are we reminded of Krishna? The pure devotees are always completely immersed in that. This is in Berkeley. Srila Prabhupada stayed in Berkeley for a few days at the cottage of some well-wisher. His disciples showed him around the house. "Is there any prasadam?" Srila Prabhupada asked after being seated. There was nothing available. "So bring some fruit," he instructed. "Bring something for washing my feet. Bring a towel and some water. This is common etiquette. You should wash a person's feet when they arrive." Srila Prabhupada did not need anything from us, but he mercifully showed us the proper way to honor a guest. What to speak of the spiritual master? The devotees quickly prepared the items. "Wash up to my knees," Srila Prabhupada told his disciples, who was washing his feet. This kind of foot bath refreshes one's whole body after traveling. One very hot day in Vrindavan, Srila Prabhupada again mentioned this fact after returning to his quarters from an engagement. He immediately went into the bathroom and washed his feet and legs with cool water. After going out doing this, the whole body becomes rejuvenated, he said. He taught us the ancient standard of Vedic etiquette, complete with practical application. He enlivened us with this knowledge. Jai Srila Prabhupada. So, because at that time, in the Western world, they may not know, at least in Indian culture, right from the young age, depending on the family culture, they are taught at least some etiquettes of what to do, what not to do. But in the West, some of these Vedic culture may not be present, because of which they may not be knowing, and Srila Prabhupada had to teach them, like, by instructing. Sometimes it may appear that, Array, why Prabhupada, how can he take service? But he was trying to do that for the sake of teaching them. This is in 1972, October 12th, in Manila, Philippines. We arrived in Manila, Philippines. I had been Srila Prabhupada's servant for a month now. It was the first time I had ever been outside of the United States. I did not have to arrange for my passport, visa, or airline ticket. It was all done by Srila Prabhupada's secretary Shyam Sundaram. My service was to take care of His Divine Grace's personal needs 24 hours a day. I still could not believe my great fortune. While I was his personal servant, it did not matter what country I was in. I traveled around the world with him 5 times in 2 years and went to so many countries, visiting big cities and small. The only places I saw were the airports, the temple facilities, and wherever Srila Prabhupada went for his morning walk. To this day, I still haven't seen the Taj Mahal. Srila Prabhupada had a mission in every sense of the word. He never deviated from it. Just before the lunch at 12th, on the 12th, I was massaging Srila Prabhupada in his hotel room. Burjan Prabhu was present for the massage. While I was rubbing the mustard oil on his hair, on his back, Srila Prabhupada said, "My God brothers criticize me that I haven't allowed women to live in our temples. So I have allowed women to live in our temples. This is not done in India. Only brahmacharis can live. But I have become successful because I have made this adjustment. Although they criticize me, their Gaudiya Matas are empty. The only time they have people coming is during Gaur Purnima to Mayapur for Parikrama. And who is coming for Parikrama? Widows, women in white. Because I have made this adjustment, I was successful." He then became quiet. I began to think about the amazing adjustment he had made. He then nodded, which I meant I was finished massaging his back and should move to the side to start on his arms and chest. Seated next to him, I continued to think of what he had said. The room was quiet. I rarely asked him a question. So many devotees asked questions. When others were around, he was always busy preaching, solving problems, and helping his disciples in so many ways. I considered it part of my service to allow Srila Prabhupada some peace and quiet. But in one paragraph, he had given his formula for spreading Krishna consciousness in the West, something no one else was able to do. I tried to formulate a question and repeated it to myself several times. This was not unusual for me. I have a tendency to think about what I am going to say, and this time I wanted to ask it just right. Finally, convinced, convinced it was a worthwhile question, I asked, "Prabhupada, how can we tell the difference between making an adjustment and changing the principle?" Srila Prabhupada closed his eyes, and I continued to rub his body. Finally, he opened his eyes and responded, "That requires a little intelligence." He did not say anything more on the topic during the massage. Srila Prabhupada, I consider your words on that day an understatement. It again shows your level of humility. No one but you could have made such a radical decision. To this day, sadhus in India will not travel outside its border, considering it too dangerous for their spiritual life. You were Abhaya Charana, fearless. You were unafraid of the decadence of the West. You did not care for the criticism of your god brothers. Your only concern was to fulfill the desire of the previous acharyas, deliver the fallen souls throughout the world, and bring them to their home in Mayapur Dham at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda. So, Srila Prabhupada made many changes, but at the same time, Prabhupada kept the principles intact. When Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, some of the disciples had to go to the West, One of the sannyasi, when he returned back after 3 years, when he came to the airport, the devotees were surprised to see that he was also wearing the suit and without any shika or the kantimal or tilak. And they were wondering, although he had brought two or three Western people who were, uh, I'm not sure whether initiated or about to get initiated, and were chanting and all. But to do that, he had to change the, like, no, his own way. But Srila Prabhupada, when he went to the West, he did not change himself, but rather he changed their dresses. Many times people would ask, "What is this you're wearing the rugs or the like the bed sheets?" Because they didn't know the dhoti and all. There was no conception, and they felt it is a like no, he is wrapping around in the bed sheets. And even in the papers, it would be mentioned sometimes the men and women wrapped in bed sheets, like either white or saffron bed sheets. It would be mentioned. So that way, Srila Prabhupada brought that change in their life without he changing himself. Rather, he changed the world. So, yeah. This is in the Los Angeles in 1973. His divine grace spoke many times about retiring from managerial duties to concentrate on translating the scriptures for humanity at large. My first experience was as follows. One morning about 9, Srila Prabhupada called me into his room and told me to call Karandar. This happened often while we were in New Dwarka. Srila Prabhupada had great faith in Karandara's abilities. He even praised Karandara for fixing the concrete stairs that led to Srila Prabhupada's garden. Karandar can do anything, Srila Prabhupada commented, pointing to the stairs. If any problem arose while we were in Los Angeles, Srila Prabhupada called for Karandara to solve it. When Karandara arrived in Srila Prabhupada's room, his divine grace stunned him by saying, I do not want to be involved in management so much. I want to translate books. Yes, Karandara enthusiastically replied. I can do all of your secretarial work from here, and you can stay here to translate. We will keep everything very nice for you. Yes, we will do it immediately. Srila Prabhupada said, I want to have no business, no more business, no more management. You handle all my affairs for me. Karandara left room ready to organize ISKCON from his office on Watchak Avenue. This is amazing. I thought Prabhupada is going to let the governing body commission GBC run the society. New Dwarka was perfect for such an arrangement. It had facilities for Srila Prabhupada, including the garden, which was his favorite place. He could have stayed there for years and translated all day if he wanted. About an hour later, Srila Prabhupada again rang his bell. I entered Srila Prabhupada's quarters and offered my obeisances, but before I raised my head from the floor, he said, Call Karandara. Karandara soon entered the room and offered his obeisances. As he did, Srila Prabhupada noticed a letter in Karandara's kurta pocket. Srila Prabhupada's eyes grew large. What is that? He asked. Oh, it is a letter for you, Srila Prabhupada, Karandara replied. Open it. Srila Prabhupada instructed. Karandara opened the letter and read it to Srila Prabhupada. It was a typical letter from a senior disciple who managed one of ISKCON's temple. Srila Prabhupada intently listened and then dictated a reply. Srila Prabhupada's retirement lasted little over an hour. It was the first retirement I had experienced, but certainly not the last. Srila Prabhupada took pleasure in translating Srimad Bhagavatam for us. He also relished teaching his children how to walk on the spiritual path. His patience was endless. On a daily basis, he picked us up as we stumbled and encouraged us to try to walk again. No matter how much he dreamed of retirement, he would not leave us until we were able to walk on our own. The time has come for us to walk. It is difficult without you here, answering our letters and overseeing our big meetings. The urgency of your translating books, this Shrutiketi Prabhu's contemplation. The urgency of your translating books for future generations is more apparent as each year go by. You always knew you would only be with us for a short time, but your words live with us forever. For me, your leaving was much too often, much too soon, because I'm a neophyte. I still sit here and long for your personal association. Please benedict me with your personal service, life after life. Jai Shri Prabhupada. So that way, Srila Prabhupada, although he wanted to retire, he wanted to write books, but seeing the situation and the devotees were very new. Many times it would happen that they were just few months coming to Krishna consciousness and they are sent to either the different temple or different countries many times to travel and preach. So that was the way Srila Prabhupada empowered the devotees. This is in again Los Angeles in 1973. Hearing his divine grace ring his bell, I immediately went to his room and offered my obeisances. Point to the floor near my legs, he looked at me with wide eyes with great concern. Do you see that bug? He asked, looking around for a few moments. I finally spotted a small insect. I nodded. In a serious voice, Srila Prabhupada said, I have been watching that bug for some time now, and he has not moved. I think he is hungry. Get a prasadam flower and take him outside. Put him on a plant so he can get some nourishment. I immediately did what my most merciful Guru Maharaj asked and returned to the servants' quarters. Neither of us spoke of the bug again. It was another wonderful occasion in which he revealed the indiscriminate mercy of a pure devotee. His divine grace did not feel it was a waste of time to mitigate the suffering of even the smallest living entity. Now, just seeing a small insect, I am forced to think of my beloved Srila Prabhupada. However insignificant we may be, if we are fortunate to get the glance of the Nitya Siddha, our life will be immediately benedicted. So as we read the purport, that anugrahayeha charantinonam, that to show their mercy they travel. So it doesn't matter like now, because the pure devotee sees on the level of the soul, they see even the small bug also as a part and parcel of Krishna and they act on that platform. This is in 1975 in Vrindavan Krishna Balram temple. Another example demonstrating Srila Prabhupada's efficiency with minimal effort took place in the privacy of his quarters. Srila Prabhupada instructed me without saying a single word. While sitting in his room, he looked up at the ceiling fan. If they were on, it meant I should turn them off. If they were off, it meant I was to turn them on. Other times, he looked at the French doors. If the curtains were open, I closed them. If they were closed, I opened them. This is first class servant, Srila Prabhupada said. He does his service without being asked. The second class servant, you ask him and he does it. The third class servant, you ask him and he does it begrudgingly or doesn't do it at all. I pray to hear the shuffling of his feet, see his glances, hear his words, and get the opportunity to serve him life after life. Srila Prabhupada is Acharya. So these are a few of the anecdotes from the book of Shrutikirti Prabhu. What is the difficulty? I'll try to another maybe 5 minutes or something. I'll read from the book of Burijan Prabhu, my glorious master. Burijan Prabhu is one of the very good teacher also, and he has written the Art of Teaching book also. Prabhupada's encouragement. Prabhupada, so this is nice place. You have decorated it nicely. Everything is nice. So far the little place is concerned. How many rooms you have got? This is it, Prabhupada. Only one room and this little room in the back. That's very natural. It's costly here. Prabhupada noticed our simple living facility. This was in Hong Kong in 1972, which we had decorated to the best of our ability and encouraged us. Education, the key to the future, Prabhupada said. But these children and their parents are also very much interested. So I think you should have nice institution here to train the children in this country. And after their education, they may take to any line of livelihood. That doesn't matter. But the foundation, just like in the Vedic system, first of all, brahmachari. Even Krishna, God himself, although he knows everything, but just to teach us, he also became a brahmachari in the Gurukula. Lord Ramachandra, he also accepted a guru, Vasishtha. That is our Vedic system. Anybody may do anything. Anybody may be anything, but the process is tad vijnanartham sagurum eva abhigachet. In order to learn the value of life, spiritual value of life, one must go to a guru. Prabhupada saw the seed of Krishna consciousness in the children of Hong Kong and thus provided a vision that would allow that seed to grow and blossom. Secret of success. Prabhupada. If somebody says, you give up Krishna consciousness and take something else, now here is Shyam Sundara. His father is a very, very rich man. He is always canvassing Shyam Sundara. You are my only son. You come, do business. You take millions of dollars, whatever you like. But he is not going. There are many like that. They cannot give Krishna consciousness. And you know that our Jagatarani, wife of Bhrijana, she was a theatrical girl and earning millions of dollars. But she has given up everything. She is a nice girl, educated and qualified, but she is satisfied. I asked her to go and marry Bhurijan. She never saw him and did not know what kind of husband she would be accepting. But simply on my word, she came from Los Angeles and got married. The only consideration is how to please Krishna and his representative. Guru Krishna Prasadapai Bhaktilata Bija. Bhakti is just a creeper, and the seed of that creeper can be obtained by the mercy of Guru and Krishna. That is Vedic injunction. Yasya deve para bhaktir, yata deve tata guru, tasyaite gadita hyartha prakashanti mahatmana. The Vedic knowledge becomes revealed to a person who has unflinching faith in Krishna and Guru. That is, this is with the system. Years ago in Los Angeles, a devotee asked me how long I had been married. When I said 21 years, his jaw dropped. To the same person, it is perhaps amazing that my wife and I had been married for so long. Because as in most marriages, ours has weathered rough periods. When young devotees ask for a success formula for Krishna conscious marriage, I usually suggest they marry someone they respect and that they view their commitment to their marriage as direct service to their spiritual master. Obviously, being deeply satisfied in one's own Krishna consciousness helps. These principles, along with Krishna's mercy and more than a pinch of good luck, have helped me maintain my marriage in Prabhupada's service. Prabhupada's original point was that children need to hear from a guru. But then he expanded this point to make it relevant to the entire audience. Everyone needs a guru. In Prabhupada's preaching, he would often speak about element of self-sacrifice in his disciples, as he did with Shyam Sundar and Jagatani. His disciples were living examples of the philosophy. So we can see that there are many, like here Jagatani Mataji, and there is one more. I'm not able to recollect Mataji's name. She is a French lady. She was sent to, Prabhupada said she was in the England temple worshipping Lord Radha Nandaneshwar. And she had heard in one of the lecture of Prabhupada that Prabhupada saying that whenever spiritual master gives any instruction, a disciple should wholeheartedly accept it. And she was intensely praying to the Lordships that, mighty Lord, if any time Prabhupada asks for anything or any service or any instructions he gives me, please give me the strength to say yes to it. And just after a few days, because of her intense prayers, that Prabhupada called her and said that there is one boy, Anatoly, in Russia. Can you go there, marry him and assist him? And Prabhupada had gone to Russia just for 3 days, and in that 3 days, one day he had met this Anatoly who was little interested, and Prabhupada had given whatever he could give. And Prabhupada said, I have given you everything, you just follow this. And he was trying to follow, but he didn't had any association. So he had returned to Prabhupada, and Prabhupada thought I should help him. And he's asking this French lady who doesn't know anything about Russian culture to go and get married. And she says, yes, Prabhupada. And she goes and then gets married. And because of her like the support, and she tells him what to do and all, then finally the whole Russian preaching has started, wherein now we can see that thousands of devotees. There is one uh, uh, festival which happens in Ukraine uh, in a year. It is like a Sadhusanga. I don't know the exact name. There around 13 to 14,000 devotees from Ukraine and Russia. They can come for almost around 6 to 7 days, and it's all like free of cost. There's no charges for anybody. If anybody wants to give any donation, it's up to their this one. And many of the preachers or the leading Niranjan Swami Maharaj and others, they take the lead of running that. And they say that Krishna sends the Lakshmi. Because we want to serve the Vaishnavas, somehow or the other, it gets arranged. So we can see that how her sacrifice, Mandakini Mataji, her name is. And because of that, like no, the whole preaching is there. And in another, while introducing her once, Radhanath Maharaj was mentioning that this Anatoly later he became Ananta Shantipur, the first disciple in Russia. He was a quite erratic personality, and that too sometimes because of the harassment of the police and giving him the sedatives and all to brainwash and all, or uh, make them forget that he would become like a personality would be quite difficult to manage. But he was telling that still she uh, tried to serve him and be with him. That is her greatness. So how all this could happen because of the words of Srila Prabhupada, and he was trying to follow the instruction of his spiritual master and his dedication. His disciples were also so much dedicated. I'll just read one more about Gurujan Prabhu, where he writes Guru's words. Sudama Vipraswami, Siddha Swarupananda Goswami, Shrutakirti, Jagattarani, and I sat around Prabhupada's table, watching him as he ate fresh Filipino fruit, mangoes, bananas, and apples for breakfast. Prabhupada wanted milk and sent Shrutakirti out. Shrutakirti was his new servant, and he was fresh from America. After 10 minutes, Shrutakirti returned, pot in hand, complaining that the hotel staff wouldn't cooperate. Prabhupada insisted that he wanted hot milk, and Shrutakirti left again for the hotel kitchen. 10 minutes passed, and Shrutakirti again returned with cold milk. The staff wouldn't let him into the hotel kitchen. Prabhupada looked sharply at Shrutakirti. You're not serious. Sudama Praswami, Big Dave, heavy set, with skull and crossbones tattooed on his arm, picked up the milk pot and walked out. He returned 5 minutes later with steaming hot milk. Sometimes you have to yell, Srila Prabhupada, he said. Prabhupada smiled. So they wanted to, like, no, for the pleasure of Srila Prabhupada, they're ready to go to any extent. Once Prabhupada was traveling in the train in India, and he expressed to Yamuna Mataji that I want to have hot rice. And the train was running, and she thought, okay, Prabhupada is asking, I have to somehow or the other please him. What to do? She went to the pantry and asked. The pantry, they were not allowing to do anything. And finally, she became so much this one that she went to the TT and said, either you allow me to cook for my spiritual master, or I'm going to jump from the train. The way she said was so grave that to serve my the spiritual master, I'm ready to go to any extent. He said that no, like you can cook. And just after some time, she came with a hot rice in a bowl and gave it to Prabhupada. Prabhupada was so happy. So that is their that was the transformation of heart which Srila Prabhupada had brought in his disciples. Okay. Maybe another one or two smaller letters in the street. Preaching and reading. Prabhupada and his entourage rode the elevator to the top floor of the hotel. This is in Hong Kong. We had rented him the Thai suite, the most luxurious rooms in the hotel. A group of about 20 young, interested Chinese waited inside. Prabhupada took his seat. He was pleased by the group of interested souls and he began Kirtan. His lecture criticized those who preached but who were not reading. Without Shravana, what is the Kirtana? He asked the guest as he looked at me. That means indirectly he was telling to Gurujan Prabhu that you should not just preach, you should be reading also. Devotees who are too busy preaching to read Prabhupada's books should note this instruction. If we don't study, we may not be prepared to fight Maya. This is from Chaitanya Charitamrita, he is writing. Men become strong and stout by eating sufficient grains, but the devotee who simply eats ordinary grains but does not taste the transcendental pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Krishna gradually becomes weak and falls down from the transcendental position. However, if one drinks but a drop of the nectar of Krishna's pastimes, his body and mind begin to bloom and he begins to laugh, sing, and dance. Perfect. All the devotees connected with this Krishna consciousness movement must read all the books that have been translated, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavata, and others. Otherwise, after some time, they will simply eat, sleep, and fall down from their position. Thus, they will miss the opportunity to attain eternal blissful life of transcendental pleasure. Prabhupada continued his forceful mood in front of the guests. So, how do you like our lifestyle? Prabhupada asked Jagatani. She paused, looked at Prabhupada, and ventured, I don't know. Her tentative answer evoked a heavy reply. You don't know? You don't know? You are leading others and you don't know? Prabhupada's words rattled us to the core. Preachers have to practice what they preach. As Prabhupada told the teachers in the Dallas Gurukul, example is better than precept. And one more last anecdote and read. This is in the Hong Kong, following Prabhupada. Just before he and his entourage left Hong Kong, Prabhupada asked me to bring some Chinese devotees to the Mayapur festival. I agreed to try my best. As a gesture of affection, I brought Pradyumna, Prabhupada's Sanskrit editor, a warm jacket, and I brought Prabhupada a case of pure Australian ghee. We all then left for Kai Tak Airport. Prabhupada sat in an airport chair waiting for his flight to be called. David, a young Chinese boy, came close to Prabhupada and sat near his feet. Prabhupada, I love you, he said. Prabhupada smiled affectionately at the boy and began to pat his head and stroke his face. Prabhupada then looked up at me and mentioned to David, then follow him. Prabhupada's instructing young sentimental David to follow me thrust on me the heavy responsibility of properly representing Prabhupada. The ghee was for Prabhupada's cooks. Pure ghee is scarce in India. But when I arrived in Calcutta a month later, I saw many of the green ghee cans in Gargamuni's room. I was furious, thinking that Gargamuni had somehow or other commanded them from Prabhupada for his own use. Years later, however, I was satisfied to learn that Srila Prabhupada had sold the ghee to Gargamuni. So these are few anecdotes which I thought of sharing. Like, based on today's this one, that how if one is Prabhupada is saying that, like, praying to the Lord that please you make my words become pure, and then because the words, your words are pure, and your desire is that sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja, then surely when I speak your own words, then people, they will hear this and it will go directly pierce in their heart and it will have the transformation of heart, and then they'll give up their shoka dukkha. And that's what the Bhagavatam 177 tells. Yasyam vai shruyamanayam Krishne paramapurusha bhaktirutpadyate pumsam shoka moha bhayapaha. When one hears this message of Srimad Bhagavatam, shoka moha and bhaya, they go away from such people's life. And that's what Srila Prabhupada is mentioning in this. So these are few things which I just thought of sharing. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yeah. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam, Prabhu. Thank you for nectar in Srila Prabhupada's Leela. Especially I liked the pipe without hole. Many times I try to do that, but everything whole only, nothing goes inside. And also, how the Prabhupada's disciples, like I gave example Karandara, Prabhupada is so confident that whatever he's taken up, he'll do it. I mean, that's quality of a disciple. Of course, thank you, Prabhu. We have nicely covered Sudakirti Prabhu's, Brajana Prabhu's, kind of Leela from Srila Prabhupada. Okay, so any other devotees can give comments or questions. Please go ahead.
Actually, Karandar Prabhu was any difficult, tough thing, Prabhupada would call Karandar. And another name he would call Tamal.
Yes.
So, especially for the managerial works, Karandar Prabhu was known. It was said that once Prabhupada said that I want a big photo frame of Bhaktisiddhanta Sarthi Thakur, my Guru Maharaj, Bhaktisiddhanta Sarthi Thakur, in my room. And next day, there was a big photo of Bhaktisiddhanta Sarthi Thakur with frame in his room. And when I heard it is in almost 1970s, I was also shocked, because that time there is no WhatsApp or the email and all that. Okay, you just go to the internet and search and download, or okay, even if not, internet is not there, at least send somebody, call somebody, then tell that, Prabhu, I need this such and such photo, please send me in WhatsApp, I'll take a printout. That was not there. But I heard nobody knew, or how did he manage to get it? Nobody knew. But it was there just the next day. That was his great managerial ability.
Yeah, managerial more than how to please Guru. That is thank you, Prabhu. Okay, other devotees ask any questions or comments. Can somebody try unmute, just to make sure that you are able to unmute?
Yes, sir, we are able to.
Okay, thank you. Any comments, questions, please go ahead.
We don't have that. I don't have that much of commitment at all, Prabhu. You see, you just hear about these people is so great they are. We are not even the atomic portion of Prabhupada's direct disciples, no, Prabhu.
We can try our best, Mataji. Even I am also on the same boat. But surely, all of us, we cannot say that we don't have any commitment, because just the very fact that you are everyday hearing Bhagavatam and everyday chanting. And last time also I saw when you came, with so much lovingly you brought so many musk melons to be offered to the lordships. And I see you coming and doing the garland seva whenever possible. So all this shows that there is commitment. And yes, when we hear that, just like a Shrutikirti Prabhu was also mentioning that Prabhupada, although he wanted to retire, but seeing that these disciples may not be able to manage themselves, Prabhupada again would get into the management and all. The same way, as a small children, they try to walk, stand up, they again fall, but then they again make an attempt. So that way if we are sincere and trying to make trying to take little load. The small child may carry initially just the empty bag while going to the market with the parents. And although the child insists, I want to carry, but he cannot lift the weight. Then what the mother will do, she will put only just 2-3 carrot or something in the bag and give. Okay, the child feels, oh, I am carrying so much, although the whole is being carried by the mother. Then later, after 1 year, then mother may put another few more vegetables. That way, slowly, little by little, according to the ability of the child, the mother will put this one. And one day will come and the child himself or herself may go and get the vegetables, all the vegetables from the market.
Yes.
The same way, whatever is our capacity, if we are trying to do our best, that is pleasing to Krishna. So that way, as you're so eagerly hearing and asking the question, that shows your
Thank you, Prabhu.
patient.
I don't know whether it's correct or not correct, Prabhu. Tamal Krishna Prabhu, he met with an accident and he left his body.
Yeah.
At that time, they were telling Prabhupada had some work, I believe, and he called Tamal, and that's how he Tamal Krishna Prabhu left this world. They say, is that?
Ultimately, it is the desire of the Lord when
Yes,
he wants
yes.
to take his devotees and where he wants to engage them. So that way, yes, here he was doing, Tamal Krishna Maharaj was doing a lot of reaching to the very influential people and all. And a time came in in 2002 or so it is that he left his body.
But Prabhu, I go to the hostel to train. It's almost now 2 years. But in the hostel, the new students go. Old students leave, new students come. Exchange keeps on taking place. There are about 60 girls are there, but I'm not able to motivate. I take all the trouble, go there and then sit with them, but they chant, they listen, they answer the questions, and they recite the Mangalacharan, and I taught them Bhagavatam slokas. All that they will do, Prabhu, but they're not at all regular. They don't. Only about 5-6 girls they do the chanting of one round with difficulty. I don't know what they nod, they say, but they're not regular at all. I don't know what to do with them.
In our IVF also we face this, but however, 2-3 things which matters is, one thing is that making it relevant to them. Like sometimes we may be giving what I know or what I feel like, okay, the same way of Bhagavatam class and all. That may not work there. We may have to try to make it relevant by giving the relevant examples of something. That is one thing. Make it relevant. And how will it make difference in my life? That should be shown. And second thing is that, as you are saying that they are sitting and hearing, it is not a waste, although they may be coming and going. So yes, if you can get some committed who are regularly chanting and all, that is wonderful. You can be groomed. Even otherwise, it's like you are putting the in their spiritual piggy bank, you are putting daily few coins or whenever you go. That way the piggy bank, right now it is not fully filled, they may not be taking it seriously. But the coins which you have put, they are not going to be wasted, or it is there with them, and somewhere they'll go and again some more few coins, and once that is filled, then they will become full-fledged devotees. So that way, surely it will have an impact, but sooner or later it will depends. And another thing is that you can try to find out what they're looking for. Then that way you may be able to make an impact. And more than that is, the people, what they want is more than the knowledge, information. They want the love and care. If somebody is ready to give them love and care, then they are they're ready to do whatever they're asking for. So that love and care is the one thing which can capture their heart.
That hostel is free hostel, Prabhu. They don't have to pay any money both for food and for also accommodation. It's a free one. And all the Bhagavad Gita and Krishna book and all that, I didn't give it free. I told them to pay nominal, say 100 rupees. I collected. I said, if I give free, it goes to one corner. You should pay some money and buy, I said. They buy, and now we are covering Krishna book, Prabhu. But they really take a lot of interest to read and come and discuss. Then and many of in the congregation, they're telling you're wasting your time. You stop. Don't go to. You're going to the hostel doing and wasting time. You can do some. But I feel no. At least it will change the mind of some people. We'll come out with some few devotees will come. I was thinking. What do you feel, Prabhu? Should I continue or no?
It depends, Mataji. There will be some things which, like, no, if it is inspiring you in your practice of bhakti and it gives you kind of a satisfaction and fulfillment and feel that I am trying to do something, you can continue, not a problem. Although the result may not be much, but still, everybody may do according to what is their capacity or ability. Suppose if if the whoever is the leader under whom you are doing all this, if he wants you to do something else, you can do that also. Along with it, you can do this also. As such, and the preaching is like you are not doing anything wrong or something, inspiring them. There may not be any fruit which may be visible, but as I said, surely that you are putting some coins, spiritual coins in the piggy bank. That will not go waste. That is for sure. But then sometimes the way of doing, if you modify a little, then they may you may be able to see the fruit. Just like while growing any fruit tree, if you just keep watering and putting manure, it may grow. But the same thing, there may be some techniques of either trimming or drafting and all. By doing that, it may become faster and give the fruits. So what is that you may have to a little bit discuss and find out, and that may be more fruitful.
Sure, Prabhu. Sure, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Dandavad Pranam.
Radharani Sumukhi Mataji, 6 devotees are chanting. That's a great Mataji.
But only one round, Prabhu.
Yeah, that's a great. See others are how much. Anyway, thank you. So anyone else? It's already 8:30 now. So any other comments, questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavad Balaji Govinda Bhakta Prabhu.
Prabhuji, it was a very wonderful class. Thank you very much for giving pastimes of Srila Prabhupada. It was so inspiring, Prabhu.
Hare
That
Krishna.
time. It was really nice, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare.
Because I didn't know anything much, so I just thought better it is let me read directly from the books.
Really, it was inspiring, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Sankarshan Prabhu wanted to say something. I saw you unmuting.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I think Prabhuji answered the question already to Ranimata. She was asking about how the transformation happened for devotees. Prabhuji has answered this.
Okay, then thank you, Sir Prakash Prabhu. So thank you for valuable time. So we'll end with the Vaishnava Pranam.
Vanchakalpatarubhescha Kripasindhubhyevacha Patithanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Ananta Koti Vaishnavandiki Vaishnava Thakur Srila Prabhupada ki. Thank you.
It's great. So I'm Prakash Prabhu ki jai. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam. We'll end the call now. So we'll see you tomorrow, 7:15. Hare Krishna.